Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Casper and just making a quick update on what we've seen over the last few weeks. Now, in our last video about 2-3 weeks ago, we just saw this initial move up and we basically said we will most likely break out of this range as we've seen from prior moves with Casper and its seemingly unrelenting move up. Casper has been like an exception, or well, yeah, it has been an exception in the sense that it's basically just been going up since the middle of 2022. It has had no real slowdowns or changes in the general trend. And that's why we basically concluded that we will most likely keep moving up from this point. And we also drew this from the fact that whenever Casper has a strong pump, it does often have a pullback. That pullback isn't usually very serious. But then once it puts in a low, it doesn't really revisit that low. It rallies up, puts in a support, and then bounces up and never really visits that support again. There have been exceptions where we saw here where we really came back down low, but that was kind of during Casper's infancy, and some unusual price action is not unusual, as you know, contradictory as that may sound. So yeah, just one thing to take note of with Casper is it seems to, whenever we have a strong move up and we put in our high, we do come back down low, but once we come to this low points and once we start getting green again, we usually do rally back up. Now there have been a few times where this isn't right, but for example, this one, where we got a green week here and ended up trending down longer. And we got another green week 3 weeks later exactly, and we still trended down lower. But this is basically one of the only exceptions to this rule. And there are multiple other times that these two orange lines that indicate the support and resistance move have played out. For example, here and here it played out. And we saw the exact same move that we've seen every other time. We also saw it here with our orange here and an orange here. We did come back to that high again and we didn't break above it, not immediately, but basically 3 weeks later we did. So ultimately I would deem it as the same thing. Yeah, Casper seems to be unstoppable right now. And having broken out of this current resistance, it's difficult to say where the next sort of stop, or sorry, the next resistance will be, where it will slow down. If we take a look at some prior moves, we can see the range that Casper moves in is varied, but it usually is somewhere from around 100% from the support that we set in to the resistance. If you want to go from the previous low to the next resistance, then it's an extremely varying game, and it can range from anywhere from 100 to like 400% moves. So trying to predict where this will top out is kind of futile in my opinion. The whole crypto space seems to be buzzing right now. Bitcoin looks like it could be moving to put in an all-time high very soon, which is something I never thought I'd be saying in Q1 2024, but it does seem to be happening. Usually this stuff happens way after the halving, but hey, sooner the better, I suppose. I don't think it would be too wrong to maybe assume that we top out on this resistance line that I've drawn, which would put Casper at about 27 cents. That is quite a big jump from where we currently are, which is 18 cents. So maybe something like 22 cents or 24 cents is more realistic on our high. If we do make a move from the low to the high of 27 cents, that would be a 180% move. So not too uncharacteristic of Casper and what we've seen it do before. Or we might just top out here and come back to this orange line as a support, and it might line up as well with our support band, where we finally bounce when the two of these line up and our price meets in the middle and we bounce up, causing a bit of a squeeze. But of course, this is all speculation. Ultimately, quite bullish on Casper. It seems to be unstoppable right now, and everyone seems to know that, which does in my head make me a little bearish, makes me worry. If everybody can't see something coming down, and if everyone sees it only going up, it makes me cautious. But we are in very bullish times, and even someone like myself who would be overly bearish, I think that we do have at least a few months still of great price movement, and where the average person would probably say at least a year, knowing how the 4-year cycle sort of moves and plays out. But who knows? Taking a look at Casper on his Bitcoin pair, we're looking at the daily chart now as well, so a lot less data. We only have from August of last year. And we can see Casper is sort of playing out in a similar way, not to its US dollar pair, but how it's repeated itself. We can see I've only drawn these two lines to indicate how Casper has made these moves, and to me these seem to be playing out very similarly. Casper had a big strong uptrend at the sort of end of last year, November time, and now it seems like it could be also in one of those moves. BTC has also been playing out very strong. The other day BTC moved 10%, and it looks like today, as of recording, it's the 28th of February, we could have a very strong day for BTC again, 2 in a row, and we could sort of close the week at like a 20% move, which for Bitcoin is very, very, very bullish. That's crazy moves. So to expect Casper to underperform over the next week or two is not unrealistic, in my opinion. I think that's quite possible. So maybe we don't see as great of a move on the Bitcoin pair like we would have here. I still think we will continue to trend up on the Bitcoin pair like we have. Again, interestingly, as time has gone on, and as Casper sort of exploded onto the scene and everyone's wanted to get a piece, we've noticed that the volatility against the Bitcoin pair has decreased a little bit. And where we first launched, we had this trending upwards and then an extreme vertical move to the upside. And then a few months later, we've now gone to a support that is horizontal. And you could argue even, you could make a case that it's actually trending down. And then we've had a less explosive move to the upside, and funnily enough, it's probably totally coincidental, but the angles here, the theta between these two lines looks very similar, so it's like they're rotating as time goes on, but that's obviously not true, just a bit of fun. Well, you never know, nothing's impossible. But yeah, so for me, we can probably expect Casper to keep rallying up. What we saw last time was a move of 200% on the Casper Bitcoin pair. What we've currently experienced from this low to current price is a 30% move, and to the high it's a 60% move. So I could definitely see us going higher. However, this sort of sell-off that we've had over the last few days does look quite similar to the sort of sell-off that we had before, where we had quite steep drop-offs and then a bit of a consolidation where we didn't really go up or down, and then followed by more sell-offs. Of course, the coin is very early, anything can really happen. These patterns that we're looking at here are not set in stone. They haven't been defined by a trend. Casper has not been around long enough to have anything set in stone. We don't really know anything of the price action of Casper, so all of this is completely speculative. It's very hard to say, but I would probably assume that we do move up, even if it is slowly. Bitcoin might start to take the lead now, especially as coming up to the halving, Bitcoin often pulls in a lot more. This is where it finally puts in its last legs for the dominance, where Bitcoin dominance continues to climb. That's another video, but if you're interested, you can check out my Bitcoin dominance videos and my Bitcoin Ethereum videos. I think they're very interesting. But now, over the next few months, historically, Bitcoin does take more from the altcoin space and the dominance goes up. Maybe Casper suffers because of that on its Bitcoin pair. Maybe it keeps pace, maybe it outperforms. It's very difficult. So far, Casper has outperformed drastically. So who am I to say that it can't keep doing that? Ultimately, it's up to you to decide. I'm just trying to put a chart in front of you and get you to think. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I think that's about it. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Comment down below what alt you want covered next. Also consider checking out FairDesk with the link in the description. Always good to have a second exchange just in case your main one goes down and you need to sell your crypto. You also get a deposit bonus and low trading fees when you sign up with the link in the description. So consider that out. Also helps the channel. Thanks very much, guys. Take care and peace.